Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine getting a look inside the very digital devices of someone responsible for major crypto hacks. Someone tied directly to a state-sponsored operation.
Yeah, it sounds like something straight out of a spy thriller, doesn't it?
It really does. Well, today that's exactly what we're doing. We're not just talking theories or, blockchain analysis from the outside
No, this is different. We're pulling back the digital curtain, getting a really rare, almost unbelievable peek behind the scenes.
into the inner workings of one of these notorious state-backed operations. So get ready, because I think this might challenge how you think about cyber espionage.
What's truly fascinating here, I think, is that we're not just dissecting another crypto hack or like speculating on who did it.
Right.
Our deep dive today is all about insights from something pretty extraordinary, a counter hack.
Counterhack
Uh,
against them?
Exactly. We're not just looking at intelligence reports. We're talking actual screenshots, internal documents, operational data, straight from a North Korean IT worker's compromised device.
Wow.
So our mission today is really to understand their methods, the, well, surprising scale, and the almost mundane tools they use in these, sophisticated operations.
And what it all means for you listening right now.
Precisely what this unprecedented insight means for everyone in the broader digital landscape.
Yeah, this isn't just another news report hitting the feed. This feels like a golden ticket, doesn't it? A rare window into the practical day-to-day reality of cyber espionage.
It really is. Thanks to this material, we can expose the inner workings of this North Korean hacking team in a way that's just rarely possible.
So prepare yourself for some genuinely surprising facts, some maybe mind-bending details about what sophisticated cybercrime actually looks like on the ground.
Definitely.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting and honestly almost unbelievable. Someone, somewhere, managed to turn the tables.
Right. On one of the most prolific and, frankly, elusive state-sponsored cyber groups out there.
Instead of them breaching our systems, one of their devices got compromised. Just think about that for a moment.
It's huge. Direct access to the files, the comms, the operational logs of a North Korean operative.
This isn't just, piecing things together from blockchain transactions or network traffic analysis. This is direct evidence, undeniable, from inside their setup.
And the context for this came out through posts on X, right, from Zach XBT.
Exactly. The crypto sleuth, Zach XBT.
Yeah.
He laid it all out, detailed how an unnamed source managed to compromise the device of one of these operatives, basically laid their digital lives bare.
It's like finding a spy's dropped briefcase, isn't it?
Yeah.
Plans, tools, fake passports, financial ledgers, just open.
Totally. And this kind of access is almost unheard of in this world. These groups are usually the aggressors, the ones exploiting us, not getting exposed themselves.
It gives us an unparalleled vantage point, an unprecedented understanding of how these operations actually run day to day.
From the nitty-gritty of making fake IDs to how they track their spending, it pulls back the curtain on an adversary that usually operates completely in the shadows.
And if we connect this leak, this counter hack, to the bigger picture, it immediately provided concrete, like undeniable links.
To specific hacks.
Yes, between this small team of North Korean DPRK IT operatives and a very specific high-profile incident. We're talking the $680,000 hack of Favre.
The fan token marketplace, back in June.
That's the one. And this wasn't just a vague association like, oh, the patterns look similar. The evidence from the compromised device directly tied this attack to these specific people and their team.
Okay, so a direct line.
A direct line. But, and this is really crucial, while the Favre hack was significant, it's just one piece of a much larger puzzle.
A bigger pattern of attacks.
A much bigger, far more persistent pattern of financial exploitation by these groups. Broader intelligence, analysis, it points to North Korean-linked workers, specifically those under state-sponsored units.
Being responsible for other major hits.
Huge ones, like the staggering $1.4 billion exploit of the crypto exchange BitBit. That was February this year.
1.4 billion.
Billion. Yeah. It highlights their ambition, their capability. And it doesn't stop there. Over the last few years, these groups have consistently siphoned, quote, millions from crypto protocols.
So this is a long-term, sustained campaign.
Absolutely. It shows a persistent, incredibly well-resourced, and highly adaptable threat to the whole digital asset world. This isn't some amateur crew or a one-off thing.
It's a dedicated, state-backed operation with a clear financial goal.
Exactly. Constantly evolving tactics to hit the crypto space, which is, lucrative and sometimes less regulated. The fact that a counter hack gave us this direct, irrefutable proof. It's a game changer.
It moves us beyond just knowing who did it.
You're actually seeing how they do it. The internal mechanics, not just the damage they cause on the outside. This deep dive lets us see inside the machine.
So what does this incredible data tell us about the nuts and bolts? How do they actually operate day to day?
Well, the info from the device reveals this shockingly elaborate web of deception right at the heart of their strategy.
Deception. Okay. Not just fancy code.
Well, when we think state-sponsored cyber ops, we often jump to, you know, super advanced malware or exploiting obscure 0 days, right?
Yeah, that's the image.
But here, the core seems to be something more fundamental, but maybe even harder to defend against: identity fabrication on an industrial scale.
Industrial scale. What does that mean?
This relatively small team, just 6 North Korean IT workers in total, they collectively shared at least 31 distinct fake identities.
Wait, 31? For 6 people?
Yep. Pause on that for a second. More than 5 entirely separate, fully fleshed out fake personas for every single team member.
That's staggering. And these weren't just like fake email addresses.
Oh no, they went to painstaking lengths, acquiring what looked like genuine government IDs, real phone numbers, even purchasing established reputable accounts on LinkedIn and Upwork.
Buying LinkedIn profiles.
Seriously, the goal was crystal clear.
Mm-hmm.
Mask their true identities, their origins, their intentions, and then, crucially,
Land legitimate-looking crypto jobs.
exactly, land jobs on these widely used freelance and professional platforms. It's full-spectrum social engineering, bypassing hiring safeguards, not with code, but with trust.
So they're not just hacking from the outside. They're trying to get inside the building, digitally speaking.
Precisely. Integrate, gain trust, and then exploit from within.
Okay, so this raises a huge question then. How convincing were these fake identities? Did they actually get close?
That's where the leaked documents get really fascinating and, frankly, quite alarming. They show the meticulous effort they put in.
Like what?
For example, the evidence showed one worker had supposedly interviewed for a full-stack engineer role at Polygon Labs.
Polygon, a major player. So they were actively trying to get hired by big names.
Actively engaging in the tough, multi-stage interview processes these companies use. This wasn't just posting a fake resume, it was performing.
Performing.
Yet to really illustrate their preparation, the leaked stuff included detailed scripted interview responses.
They had scripts for interviews.
Meticulously crafted scripts. Not generic stuff either. They had specific claims of extensive prior experience at big, recognizable platforms.
Such as?
We're talking claims of working at OpenSea, the NFT marketplace everyone knows, and Chainlink, the big blockchain Oracle provider.
Wow. Name-dropping major projects.
Exactly. It shows this methodical, almost theatrical approach to looking legit, capable, trustworthy. They weren't just hoping to slip through.
They were building a whole character.
A plausible, detailed professional persona, armed with pre-planned answers to technical questions, experience questions, all aimed at gaining privileged access and trust.
It shows incredible patience, long-term thinking.
It shows they recognize infiltration is often a multi-stage game. It needs groundwork, a convincing facade. It's really a testament to how much effort they put into weaponizing trust.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit more. So they have these super detailed fake identities. They potentially get through interviews. How do they actually do the work? Or, maybe more accurately, how do they set things up for their real objectives while pretending to be legit remote workers?
Right, and this is another surprising detail that kind of goes against that high-tech hacker image.
How so?
The leaked docs clearly show these operatives got roles like blockchain developer or smart contract engineer on mainstream freelance platforms.
Like Upwork.
Upwork, the place everyone uses to find freelancers.
Not some dark web forum.
Nope. Widely used, legitimate platforms connecting businesses and remote talent globally.
Okay. And once hired, did they deploy some custom, stealthy North Korean remote access tool?
That's what you might expect, right? But no, they relied on widely available, legitimate remote access software. Stuff like AnyDesk.
AnyDesk. People use that for IT support all the time.
Millions of people use it every day for remote support, collaboration, accessing work machines from home. Totally normal software.
And I assume VPNs were involved, to hide where they really were.
Of course. Standard practice for them. They consistently use commercial VPNs to mask their true location, the origin of their network traffic.
So it's this weird paradox then. Sophisticated goal, steal millions for the state, but executed with surprisingly mundane, off-the-shelf tools.
Exactly. A highly pragmatic approach. They leveraged the very commonness, the accessibility of these tools to just
Yeah.
blend into the legitimate digital economy.
Trying to bypass defenses that are looking for novel, custom threats.
Right. Their very normalcy became a kind of camouflage, a weapon in itself.
Wow. Okay, so mundane tools?
Yeah.
What about their internal organization? How did they manage things?
Well, this is where it gets, again, quite fascinating. Their reliance on everyday Google products.
Google, like Google Drive and stuff.
Exactly. The compromised device showed extensive Google Drive exports, Chrome profiles. It suggests they weren't just using Google casually, they integrated Google tools deep into their workflow. For managing internal schedules, tracking tasks assigned to team members, even meticulously organizing their budgets.
Budgets. In Google Sheets, probably.
Seems like it. It suggests a highly organized, almost corporate structure to their illicit work, complete with project management, financial oversight.
It's unexpected. And communications.
Primarily in English, both internally, it seems, and definitely externally with potential employers. The evidence even showed them using Google's Korean to English translation tool.
So adapting to operate in the global tech world.
Totally. Determined to seem like any other remote dev team. It wasn't just about having the tools. It was about building an entire operational framework that looked normal.
And you mentioned budgets. Did they actually track expenses?
They did. One leaked spreadsheet gave a granular breakdown of their operational expenses, not just a lump sum. It detailed a combined $1,489.80 spent in May alone.
That's specific. Nearly $1,500 in a month. What would that be for?
Well, it suggests accountability within the team, a well-managed operation. Expenses probably included things like VPN subscriptions, maybe fees for those purchased identities or accounts, perhaps small software licenses, all part of their operational cost.
Okay, so they're organized. But the crucial link, did the leaks connect these mundane tools in this organization to the actual hacks?
Yes, directly and undeniably. The operatives frequently used Payoneer.
That's a legitimate payment platform, right?
Yeah, a global payment service. They used it to convert fiat currency into crypto for their needs. Another layer of obfuscation for their money movements, making tracing harder.
And then the smoking gun.
The smoking gun.
Yeah.
One specific crypto wallet address, 0x78E1A, was identified from the data, and it was flagged as being closely tied to that $680,000 exploit on Fiverr back in June.
There it is, the direct link from their operations to the crime.
Exactly. This is where the digital trail becomes crystal clear, and Zach XBT specifically alleged something chilling.
What was that?
That the FAR project's own chief technology officer, the CTO, known publicly as Alex Hong,
Yeah.
he, along with other developers on that project, were actually these DPRK workers operating in disguise.
Wait, the CTO was one of them?
That's the allegation based on the investigation.
Yeah.
It means they weren't just external hackers. They had infiltrated so deeply, they became integral parts of the development team, gaining privileged insider access.
So they executed the breach from within.
It seems so, using the very tools and identities they'd painstakingly built up. It highlights just how insidious this infiltration method is.
Turning remote work arrangements into Trojan horses.
Exactly. Allowing them to sabotage and steal from the very core of their victims' operations. It really makes you realize the most dangerous threats can sometimes wear the most convincing disguises.
Okay, this is wild. So moving beyond the active hacks and the identity stuff, did the data give any clues about what they might be planning next, their strategic thinking?
Yes, and here's where it gets really interesting again, because it offers this rare peek into their potential future plans, or at least their areas of curiosity.
What were they looking into?
Their search history, internal notes, compiled research. It revealed some intriguing things. For instance, one search query explicitly asked if ERC20 tokens.
The common Ethereum token standard.
Right. Could those be deployed on Solana?
Solana, another major blockchain. Okay, why would they search that?
Well, it's likely not just academic curiosity, is it? It shows a clear, proactive interest in cross-chain stuff, expanding their knowledge of different blockchain ecosystems, probably looking for new vulnerabilities, new attack vectors in emerging areas.
Exploring new territory. Makes sense. What else?
Another search, equally intriguing, sought information on the top AI development companies in Europe.
AI companies in
Yeah.
Europe. That's different. That's not crypto.
Exactly. It significantly diversifies their known interests. It hints at a potentially broader mandate, maybe industrial espionage, or looking for entirely new revenue streams from other valuable tech sectors.
It's like getting a glimpse at their R&D department, seeing what new frontiers they might be exploring for exploitation.
Pretty much. It's like looking over their shoulder at the drawing board.
So, if we connect this to the bigger picture, what does this AI and Solana stuff really tell us about their evolving tactics or future targets?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Are they just looking for new ways to attack crypto? Diligently seeking vulnerabilities in Solana's bridges or cross-chain
Let's give
mechanisms?
something bigger.
Or are we seeing maybe signs of a strategic pivot,
Hmm?
an active diversification into other high-value fields like AI? That search for top AI companies in Europe, it could suggest wanting to acquire cutting-edge AI tech,
For what purpose? Their own state programs.
possibly. Or maybe to develop new, more sophisticated tools for their own cyber operations, make their social engineering even better, their malware smarter.
Or maybe they just see AI as another cash cow to exploit, like crypto.
That's also possible.
Mm.
What really stands out to you about these searches? Do they hint at future cyber threat trends we should be bracing for?
Well, the AI interest feels significant. If they start leveraging AI for automated vulnerability discovery, that could drastically speed up their attacks. Or using AI for deepfakes, more convincing phishing.
Right, or even more advanced autonomous hacking tools that need less human control.
Yeah.
And the Solana question about ERC-20s, that shows they're staying ahead of the curve, right?
Definitely. Proactively understanding new blockchain tech, making sure they know the potential attack surfaces as the crypto world evolves so fast.
It's not just reacting to chances, it's active R&D. Constantly pushing their own capabilities, looking for the next target, the next weak link.
It really underscores how adaptive these state actors are, always scanning the horizon for the next tech frontier to exploit for money or strategic gain.
Absolutely.
So with all this incredible insight, what's the takeaway? What does it mean for the crypto industry, the tech industry generally, especially those hiring remotely?
Well, the findings led Zach XBT to make a very clear, very urgent recommendation. Crypto and tech firms need to significantly step up their due diligence on potential hires, especially people coming through freelance platforms or remote channels.
Because the vulnerability isn't always super techy.
Exactly. As Zach XBT pointed out, many of these North Korean operations, they aren't highly sophisticated in terms of, like, groundbreaking malware or 0 days.
They exploit more basic weaknesses.
Human and process vulnerabilities. The sheer volume of applications companies get, especially on platforms like Upwork, often leads to hiring teams getting, well, negligent or just totally overwhelmed.
Understaffed, maybe, or just not equipped to spot these super fakes.
Right. They might not have the specific expertise to rigorously vet every candidate, especially when the candidates have such elaborate fake backstories. It creates this huge blind spot, a gaping hole in security.
And the operatives just walk right through it.
With remarkable success, it's a really sobering call to action for the whole industry to tighten up that human firewall. Recognize the weakest link isn't always the code, it's often the people process.
Okay, so if that's the problem, how do we improve? How can the industry fight back against this?
Well, Zach XBT highlighted a critical systemic issue here, one that goes beyond just what individual companies do.
What's that?
A significant lack of collaboration between the tech firms themselves and the freelance platforms they use. That's a major contributing factor.
Oh, so?
Think about it. If a company spots a suspicious applicant, maybe a potential deep cover operative, that crucial intelligence doesn't always get shared effectively across the ecosystem.
So the same fake identity can just try again somewhere else.
Exactly. The operatives, or variations of their fakes, can just move on to the next unsuspecting company. It perpetuates the cycle. This isn't just about one company being vigilant. It needs ecosystem-wide vigilance.
Mechanisms for sharing intel?
Robust mechanisms for real-time information sharing. Imagine if platforms and companies could more effectively flag and share info on suspicious IDs, weird interview behavior, maybe even linked wallet addresses.
That would raise the bar considerably, make their lives much harder.
Precisely. Make their operations far less efficient. And it's important to note, governments are seeing this too. They're stepping up.
Recognizing the national security angle.
And the financial stability angle. Just last month, the U.S. Treasury took direct action. They sanctioned 2 specific people and 4 entities tied directly to a North Korea-run IT worker ring infiltrating crypto firms.
So direct sanctions, hitting their infrastructure and personnel.
Exactly. It shows a concerted, high-level effort to disrupt these networks, cut off their funding. It underscores how seriously governments are taking this threat.
So what are the big lessons here for anyone listening, whether you're in crypto, hiring online, or just using the internet?
Well, it's clear our increasingly digital world demands a new level of scrutiny, doesn't it? For companies, it means investing in better vetting, using threat intelligence, collaborating more with platforms, building multiple layers of defense.
And for individuals.
For individuals, especially hiring or getting hired remotely, it's about cultivating a healthy skepticism, understanding that even a legit-looking job offer or partnership could be a front.
Constant vigilance, careful skepticism.
Yeah. In this remote-first world, the human element, ironically, is both the biggest vulnerability and potentially the strongest defense.
So we've seen today, through this really unprecedented look behind the digital curtain, that state-sponsored cyber espionage isn't always about, hyper-advanced 0 days or sci-fi malware.
No, sometimes, as this deep dive clearly showed, it's about sophisticated social engineering, painstaking identity fabrication on a massive scale.
And the cunning, almost mundane use of everyday tools. Google products, Upwork, AnyDesk.
It's a powerful, maybe sobering reminder. The simplest, most accessible paths can be the most effective for bad actors, precisely because that normalcy lets them just blend in.
Yeah.
And this deep dive really underscores that even these formidable, persistent threats, like from a state actor focused on theft, can be exposed. They can potentially be countered.
Through vigilance, investigation.
Through vigilance, through keen investigative work like Zach XBT's, and ultimately through effective collaboration across the industry with governments. It highlights that constant tension, doesn't it, between the convenience of remote work and global hiring.
And the absolute need for real security and verification in our digital lives.
Exactly, which leads to a kind of provocative thought to leave everyone with.
Okay.
As our digital identities become ever more tangled up with our professional lives, and as those lines between legitimate remote work and covert state operations get blurrier and harder to see, how can individuals, how can organizations truly verify who they're engaging with online? And maybe more importantly, what new forms of digital due diligence will become not just recommended, but absolutely essential in the years ahead to protect ourselves, our data, our assets in this complex, always shifting digital landscape?
That's a big question.
It's a profound question, I think. One we'll all need to grapple with as these tactics keep evolving, likely becoming even more sophisticated in their simplicity.